Okay, so today I wrapped up my unit, which is crazy. It ended up lasting 6 weeks, which is okay with me, because teaching is all about being flexible anyways. But I absolutely had a blast. It was so much fun. I learned a lot about myself, as a teacher and as a person. Some of the things I realized today, and I was doing my third video for class, was that I really like inserting humor into the classroom. I say things, I make fun of myself a lot, and I mean only when it has something to do with the lesson, or trying to show my students how horrible of an artist I am. They said my version of a chihuahua looked like an egg with legs or something, which, oh, I love those kids. They're humorous. But anyways, so today, though, I ended my unit with my podcasting project, and to say the least, it went pretty well. I really enjoyed doing it with the kids. I found that it is much harder to control than I had anticipated. During first period, we didn't get to two of the groups. And so I knew after first period, I was like, I cannot have this happen for second, sixth, and seventh, just because we're in a time crunch right now. So I had to rework the schedule a little bit. And also I think, though, because first period, I was trying to make it perfect. And then I realized, I'm like, wait, these aren't ever going to be perfect, and I'd rather have their personality in them than have them sound like they're reading, off a teleprompter. So, needless to say, I finished in all of my, the rest of my classes for the day, and I had about 5 groups in each class, and I probably spent about, I'd say 10 minutes, maybe a little less, depending on how they did, or what they needed from me. So, it went well. Some issues I had with it, and I talked with my CT, she was like, so how would you manage this in the classroom when you don't have, another teacher to watch the other students? And what I did with this today was that I took a group at a time into the conference room, and that's where we podcasted. And, I immediately had the same reaction, what would I do? And I immediately thought of doing like a workshop day, because I know, especially when you do it with middle schoolers, that all students need to be engaged, especially when there's not an authoritative figure guiding them. So I figured that having them, in their groups, have certain requirements and assignments that they had to finish before they got to the podcasting. So the podcasting would be the end. I'm not really sure what I would assign, because, our class is only 50 minutes. So I don't want to bombard them with a lot of work. And that would take, a lot of working out, and especially with my students and figuring out what they need to do and what we're doing at the time. But overall, if I was to do podcasting again, which I really want to, I would do it in steps. A lot of my students were intimidated. I used Matt's computer, his Mac, and they just it's almost like they were speaking in a dark hole. They kept looking down at the computer like they were trying to find something, like there was a robot in here that was going to do something. I don't know, it was quite comical, but they really enjoyed it at the end. Tomorrow I'm giving them a survey to fill out, really just to see, get their thoughts on the project and what I could change, and how I would, just revise it, because I think that's extremely beneficial for me, especially as a student teacher, because that's what, this whole experience is about. Some other issues I had with the podcasting were I actually had to speak on 2 of the scripts because of the amount of students I had absent today. I stressed for them to be here. They knew it was going to be today. Of course, you can't help it if you get sick, obviously, but I do foresee that being a problem, being absent. But then again, I might be a little bit more flexible, in my own classroom. It just all depends. But also, I would warm them up to podcasting. Maybe get them to, work a little bit with technology in general before just jumping right in. Because I do feel like the intimidation factor set them back a little bit. Even though the outcome was great, I do still feel like I would start, with little steps. Maybe not publish or, their podcast on the internet, like I'm trying to do to give them feedback, because they all don't think that anyone will care about this or listen to it, and I really want to convince them otherwise. So that'll take some time, because we all know I'm not as much of a digital native as I thought I was at the beginning. So working with uploading podcasts and such is my next step for spring break. But anyways, I'm trying to think. So that's pretty much today. Ending my unit, which is crazy. I'm also giving them exit slips tomorrow to have them reflect on the unit and tell me their favorite activity, what they would have rather have done, if there's something, other ideas they have, or if I didn't draw enough on their interests, please let me know. All sorts of things. I really just want their feedback, because I think that's extremely important for me as a teacher. And sorry, I just saw a little bug climbing on the window. I've been around 7th graders. I'm easily distracted now. Anyways, so it all went really well. I'm very pleased. The one thing I would say, though, about the podcasting is I'm not sure the scripts were detailed enough for me. But then again, some students did it, and then some students, maybe fell below my expectations, but my expectations may have been too high for certain students, their level. But I don't really like thinking that way, because I think all students are capable. But that's just something I have to learn. But there are some groups I wish I had done a little bit more research, more detail. But overall, getting them to write the scripts to begin with was difficult. And then I had them write a 1-page reflection at the end of what they learned, and had them turn that into me. So all of this was a bit of a stretch for me. And I kept, reiterating to them that this is new for me too. And I'd never done this. So I thought it was pretty neat that we could all do this together. And overall, I think it went really well. So I would definitely recommend podcasting in your classroom. Overall, I'm just ready for spring break. I cannot wait for Friday. I definitely need the time to regroup, get my mind ready for, the last, 6 weeks we might have till graduation now. That's just crazy. But anyways, I hope everyone else is doing well, and that you guys are all getting a chance to test things out. That's one thing I will wrap up my podcast with, is that I had this whole mindset going into student teaching that this is an experience for me to learn from and to grow from, not for me to be perfect. And I was okay failing, or having, a lesson not go as well. And I definitely think that that's a philosophy of teaching that I always want to carry with me, is that not everything's going to be perfect. I always try and strive for perfection, but I'm not disappointed if I do not reach that, or my students do not, because I think it's important to have realistic expectations in the classroom, and that's something I would definitely carry with me into my teaching career that I have learned from student teaching. So I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope to see you all soon.